There was never a front line. They kept sending men to the front. The map said the front was 12 miles east, marked in ink and certainty. Trenches, wire, artillery placements, everything accounted for. But the men who came back, when they came back at all, never agreed on where they had been. Lieutenant Armin was sent to correct that. Discipline the line, command told him. Reestablish position. The reports are inconsistent. They handed him a map, clean, precise, reassuring. By the third day, it no longer matched anything in the world. The trench he was assigned to was already occupied. That was the first problem. Not by the enemy, by his own regiment. Relief force? One of the soldiers asked as Armin climbed down. The man's uniform was correct. His insignia matched. His face did not. We weren't told, Armin began. You wouldn't be, the soldier said quickly. Too quickly. Orders don't come down here right anymore. There were too many men in the trench, packed shoulder to shoulder, breathing the same air, not speaking unless spoken to, not looking at one another. Where is your commanding officer? Armin asked. No one answered. Eventually, someone pointed. Not to a dugout, not to a command post, but to a section of the trench wall. It had been reinforced. Extra timber, extra nails, something dark packed into the seams. He's in there, the soldier said. Armin stared. You buried him? A pause. Then, no, sir. The wall moved. Not much, just enough to notice. A slow, inward flex, like something behind it had shifted its weight. Armin stepped back. Open it. No! Several voices said at once. Too fast. Too afraid. He gives orders, the soldier insisted. We hear him. That's enough. As if on cue, something inside the wall spoke. Hold position. The voice was wrong. It had authority, clarity, but there was no source. It came from the wood, from the packed earth, from the spaces between the men's ribs. Armin felt it more than he heard it, a vibration inside of his chest. You see? The soldier whispered. He's still commanding. Armin drew his sidearm. Stand aside. No one moved. I said, stand aside. That's an order. This time, they obeyed. Not because of the gun, but because the wall shifted again. And this time, it was urgently. As if it was listening. Armin stepped forward, pressed the barrel against the timber, and fired. The sound didn't echo. It sank. The wall ruptured. Not outward, but inward. The wood collapsed into a hollow space that should have not been there. There was no dugout, no chamber, just depth. It was breathing, and inside, something rearranged itself. Bones, uniforms, flesh, all pressed together into a shape that suggested a man only because it remembered one. Its mouth opened, but it had no head. The mouth formed where the pieces allowed it. "You damaged the line," it said calmly. Armin couldn't move. "I am the line." Behind him, the soldiers dropped to their knees, not in panic, but in recognition. We held position, sir," one whispered. "No, we became position," said another. The thing in the wall shifted again, expanding, pressing outward. The trench widened slightly, making room. "You were sent to correct deviation," it continued. "Correction is complete." Armin felt something cold slide around in his boot. He looked down. The floor of the trench had softened. Not mud, and not the earth. Something with give, something that tightened slightly as he moved. He tried to pull his foot free. It resisted. You will take command," the thing said. No," Armin managed. "Yes." The walls pulsed. The men leaned inward, not touching him, but closer, always closer. "You carry the map," it said. Armin's hands trembled as he reached into his coat. He pulled it free. The paper had changed. The neat lines were gone. The trench network replaced with something organic, curving, looping. By God, it was endless. He turned it, hoping it would make sense from a different angle. But it didn't, because it wasn't a map. It was a cross-section of something vast, layered, alive. And the trenches, all of them, ran through it like veins. Armin looked up slowly. The horizon. It was wrong. There was no distant guns, no landmarks. In the sky, it had disappeared. Just a faint curvature, as if the entire battlefield, every trench, every soldier, every war was set inside something that did not notice them, except as pressure, hunger, an itch. "You understand now," the thing said inside the wall. Armin nodded. He didn't mean to. "There is no front," it continued. "No enemy." The walls tightened. gently, affectionately. There is only interior. Armin tried to scream. The trench inhaled, and he disappeared into the line, as if he had always been a part of it. Days later, Command received his report. It arrived without a courier, without a signature, written in a hand that matched his. It read, "Position confirmed. All units accounted for. No further reinforcements required." They acknowledged, and they updated the maps accordingly, and kept sending men exactly where they were told.